What's raging, gamers? Welcome to the season 4 finale of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
As always, Chris, I'm doing amazing. It's the finale, baby. How about
Yes,
yourself?
that's right. Hey, everything's good, man. You know, this has been such immaculate vibes all throughout season 4. HenricK the Wreck and I, we can't thank you, the gamers, for tuning in Wednesday nights, prime time, baby. It's been so much fun. And before we even begin, because we always get new listeners joining us and we always appreciate you. And if you're not following me on my YouTube channel, go ahead and scan the QR code, like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a live show. And also,
Yeah, you can follow me there as well if you scan that QR code on your screen, and you'll see all the content that I'm posting on my YouTube channel, which you'll like it.
that's right, fam. And we always like to start off the show with a bang and show you guys viral content that is circulating all across the globe. And a gamer in Grand Theft Auto showcases unbelievable talent, dodging and weaving through mayhem in a pursuit as if they were born to drive on the wrong side of the law. Roll the clip.
Cue the Tokyo Drift music, because it's
Yeah,
gotta
right.
go in there.
Man, that was like really smooth. I love awesome gameplay like this. And I know people were all over this video. One person said, "Damn it, CJ, all you had to do was follow the damn train." Such an iconic game. I'm just always amazed that, San Andreas always gets a lot of praise to this day. Second comment we got here is, bro is definitely a certified forklift operator. Does that apply?
100%.
Do you think so? Does that
I
really
think so.
apply? If you're a
When
master,
you're certified forklift operation, anything's possible, man.
I guess we got to put the Amazon forklifters up against the Temu forklifters and see who battles it out the best. The next comment we got here is, hardest thing I have seen in a whole month. Yes, that's right. Tokyo Drift. HenricK the Wreck said it best. And you know what? Some people got better gaming skills and driving than any of us could ever suffice. So you know what? Shout out to that cat. But you know what's also crazy? There's a little bit of little bit of drama in the esports world. You gotta love it. This is pretty cool because looks like there are things heating up faster than the overclocked GPU in the Call of Duty League Major 2, with Scrappy and Draza serving up more drama than a soap opera. So what's next? Draza's trash talk, hitting Optic like a headshot? I don't know. You guys, if you haven't seen it, we're going to go ahead and showcase that clip for you.
How does that feel, being able to win with this squad and get them back on top after over 400 days?
I mean, it feels great. I mean, like I said before, too, I run that org. They haven't beat me in forever. And where's that Dick Rider Scrappy at? Is he already going home? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but I love my fucking teammates. These guys are insane, and I cannot wait until Major 3.
All right.
He forgot for a second he wasn't in real life, or that he was in real life, rather, because that's some trash talk that you'd have in the game.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. And I know a lot of people were commenting around this video. First one that we got here is Rent Free from Scrappy himself. And you kind of wonder why there's all this kind of animosity. Maybe that is good for the esports community. After all, it is getting gamers talking about the situation. Second one we got here is, he did nothing but get carried the entire major.
Oh.
Guy is so annoying and intolerable. Is he annoying? Do you find it that way, HenricK?
I mean, I don't know the dude personally, obviously, but I'm not someone who trash talks. I know we run the show Rage Quit, but I don't really trash talk people. You know, we're all comrades at the end of the day. We're playing a game.
Oh yeah, it's
fun.
so true. And the next one we got here is calling out Scrapped is weird behavior, laughing my ass off. Don't poke the bear, especially with the home major coming up. Very, very true. And I know Atlanta FaZe has officially announced the signing of Draza after 3 years on LA Thieves, you know, ending some of the most fearsome rivalries in Call of Duty esports. And I know even Draza went as far as even saying why he joined Atlanta FaZe was because it's just a no-brainer to join a team that places top 3 at every event. Man, that is quite a stab at Optic. But you know what's also pretty great, Henrik?
What?
You know, sometimes after every once in a while, you know, being accused of betrayal in Among Us is rough. But watching, you know, I don't know about you, Henrik, but watching a young gamer learn about trust issues and deception in one swift meeting is like witnessing a gaming rite of passage. And, you know, has Among Us fall off? I don't know. I think viral clips like this keep it alive. Have a laugh.
It's green. Me and Pig saw green kill. Get him out. No, get green out. Get green out. Green. It is green. Yes, you are. You're a saucy baka. Trust me, guys. It's green.
Oh, he gaslit all of them. This should make him get booted off the ship.
I thought I was watching a side stage at Warped Tour all over again. I mean, those were some really, you know, some like death growls going on there.
That's true, yeah.
Especially with the added addition of music. But the first comment that we got here on this Among Us viral clip is, I bet everything's definitely all right at home for this kid. Yeah,
Oof.
that's you know, on a level, you better just hope that he has his own playpen, because I don't know if I want to tussle with that same kid. He's got a lot of aggression, and he clearly needs to let it out in Among Us.
Yeah, you couldn't handle being called a sussy baka.
Yeah, I know, right? I love that. I'm going to have to start using that. I'm always, like, saying all the silly terminology in Fortnite, but that's... I like that. I like that a lot. When the grown iPad kid meets the actual iPad kid. I didn't quite understand this comment, but I'm assuming it's because they had shitty microphones, and that's why they're kind of screaming at each other.
I think it's more how, you know, generations now, they're being raised by an iPad. So the kid, the younger kid, he is the kid who's being raised by an iPad. But the older kid that's kind of gaslighting everyone, he's the one who thinks that he's that generation, you know, the one that was growing up just with an iPad and not any actual parental guidance.
Okay, I can see where that's at now. And last, Taco Bell Canada joining in on the mix, and they say the most guttural scream I've ever heard. Yeah. I mean, who says that in metalcore heavy metal descriptions? I have no idea. And then we also have another one that says the kid should pursue singing for a metal band. You know what?
Yeah, he's got to learn now how to do the...
Hey, but you know what? This is Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show after all, and we are excited that you guys are here with us for the Season 4 finale of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. We got a lot in store, so HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Absolutely. You know what time it is?
I like how you
it's time to rage,
you gotta
baby.
kick your neck a little bit. That's right, baby. It's probably because you were headbanging so much when you were watching that last clip. That's what I'm probably assuming. Don't get yourself a neck kick. We got a lot more during this show. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Princess Peach Showtime. Princess Peach Showtime is a game that of course focuses on Princess Peach rather than Mario. So that in mind, does it take advantage of not having to be a Mario game first and foremost? Let's take a look at the gameplay and find out. The gameplay of Princess Peach Showtime varies from level to level, but boils down to side-to-side scrolling gameplay. The difference being, since it is a 3D game, there is some movement upstage and downstage as well. This is because each level is laid out like a stage play, and with it also comes a different setting and abilities. The abilities that Princess Peach obtains range from swordsmanship to learning how to be a ninja. But why is the princess there, and how is she getting these powers? To answer that, let's go over the story. The story starts with Princess Peach going to the Sparkle Theater to watch a performance. The Sparkle Theater hosts various different stages that are each performing their own play. However, things go awry when the masked enemies named Grape and the Sour Bunch invade the theater and take over. Princess Peach is left trapped inside along with the Theets, workers of the theater. She then meets Stella, the Sparkle Sprite and protector of the Sparkle Theater, and teams up to reclaim the theater using Sparkle powers. Princess Peach will have to traverse many different scenarios in order to thwart the plans of Grape and the Sour Bunch. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
You know what this game reminds me of? This
What's
game
that?
reminds me of a game that we actually did a review on a while back at this point, called Super Mario Brothers Wonder, because that
Yeah,
game
right.
does the same thing that this does, where every level has a bit of a gimmick to it, you know, and this one, it's different in the sense of, like, you don't have to pick up a power-up in each level. You just kind of get the ability to do the sword fighting, or, you know, at one point you get to ice skate, things like that.
Yeah, it's the transformation, you know, the different accolades that Princess Peach always had, but she never actually had the opportunity because she was always the side piece to
Exactly.
Mario.
Yeah. But I do think that overall, as a package, each level is pretty fun. The only downside being that just kind of short. I felt like when I got to the end of this game, like, that's it. There's not more, and it really feels like they want you to replay it. But is everyone going to want to do that with a game like this? That's the big question here, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, there have been some complaints about, like, people going, you know, when you do beat the game really fast, when you want to play it for the second playthrough, you know, you can't skip the cutscenes, and sometimes that can be a bit frustrating because, you know, the story is a tad bland, but it is also a refreshing twist from Princess Peach's story arc, where she's constantly running away from Bowser. Now we have something a little bit different where she's showcasing her talent at Sparkle Theater that truly looks and feels like Broadway. You know, you're always in these, like, wide shots, you know, with the side scroller style of approach that Super Mario is very keen towards, and I think it's fun. And you're right, I mean, there's a lot of basic control schemes that are meant for a younger audience, but I guess my biggest grief with this is, it's like, okay, we get it, it's built for the kids too, but did you forget about the veteran gamers that actually grew up with Super Mario? Why don't you just make an easy setting for them and then make it really difficult for us? Why not? I mean, if we're gonna be, like you just said, 8 hours to beat this game for $60+, it's like, holy cow, I would be definitely waiting to get this game when it drops in price, and then you're going to be more intrigued to want to keep playing it over and over and over again. But how you feeling about it? It just seems like a lot of big mini games smashed all together, but it is very unique.
So you're saying it's like a Super Mario Party
Exactly, and Wario.
mini game, all, you know, expanded into a game, which I kind of see what you're saying, because each level is really short like that, kind of like a mini game. But I don't know, I feel like I want to like this game. I really, really do, because
Me too.
it's something different. It's something that they don't do that often. They don't really give Peach the spotlight that often in any of her games. I mean, she at the most is going to be like a side character usually,
Right.
but I think at the same time, I can't deny the fact that I got to the end of the game, I was like, I don't really want to play it again, because I know what it's all about now. And I mean, yeah, you can go in and 100% it and, you know, kind of get really good at the mechanics of the game, but if it didn't draw you in the first place, then why would you repeat it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like what they teach you in Broadway, right? There's only one curtain and there's only one opening, so you better come out lights out. But, unfortunately, even though when you're playing Princess Peach, the spotlight's always on her, but the puzzles in combat just don't quite shine after all. I mean, yeah, it is cool for the kids. It is for, a younger audience. Clearly, I believe it was targeted that way, which is, very, very cool. And if it encourages kids to actually go and see Broadway in theater, then even more kudos to the game. I do like some of the effects, though, with the graphics where, if they wanted like actually change to a different room or a scene, they got like a revolving stage that turns 180. Those are some fun elements that really kind of feel like the nostalgia that you get when you're playing these Super Mario games. So I definitely feel like that is very enticing. But, we got to be real, with only, 10 transformations, multiple stages to play on, it definitely has more potential. I would like to see another Showtime 2 happen, but I will still stand by this. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, this is really cool for another Super Smash opportunity for Princess Peach to have like amazing attributes coming her way. I mean, could you imagine the different costume designs? I mean, could you imagine being like a detective, Peach, to the ice skating Peach, to, the list goes on and on. I mean, there's so many great opportunities. And just the fact that it's cute and fun, there's missions where you're literally diving underwater and you're using your props on set to hide. There are moments there, but it just doesn't quite nail it. No roses being thrown on the stage.
No, yeah, it's a charming game. The aesthetic, I really, really like it. It's got that Nintendo polish, but just missing that wow factor. Like, if you have $60, $70 to spend, like, are you gonna only spend it on this game, or are you gonna want?
Well, I'm glad you said the wow factor. I'm so glad you said the wow factor because I'm thinking about Nintendo Switch, right? They've been hyping up this new Switch 2 that's about to be coming out. They're also reporting that this game only runs like 1440 pixel, which also makes people start to question like why to lead something like this as it's not necessarily like an exclusive, but it was kind of hyped up like that on a level because March was such a jam-packed month full of a lot of games on different platforms. And so when you're trying to have this game try to combat with the rest of these amazing IPs out there right now in the year 2024, it's just like, I don't know. If I was a Nintendo gamer, I'm like, not again! Why do you keep doing it to me? It's like Mad Dog Russo said, God strike me down! Give me something good. So, I don't know. I'm going to just say it's a pause. But I would also say if it does drop down in price, it is definitely worth playing the game. It is worth enjoying yourself and seeing something brand new in this experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. It's a pause for me. It's a great game. It probably won't go on sale, unfortunately, because considering it's a first-party Nintendo title.
Yeah, I know.
But if you ever get like a bundle deal where it's like, oh, buy this game and you get another one included.
Okay, I was gonna say if you were gonna say a console bundle, I'd be like, hell no, HenricK. Hell no. No, I wouldn't say.
No, maybe not a console bundle, but like a game bundle. I'd be like,
yes.
Sure, go pick that up because it's gonna be a fun time to play it at least once.
Yeah. But it's definitely starting to get a little concerning with, some of these new titles coming out. I'm like, come on, Nintendo, just try to get something done right. And now it's on you, Pokemon. All eyeballs are going to be on you to try to get something right. So we'll see what happens with Nintendo. Not very promising, but then again, HenricK, what's your call? What's the verdict, my man?
It's a pause.
It's a pause.
And I think you said a pause too, right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a pause for me, and it's not something that I wanted to say. I was really, really looking forward to this game. But then again, we want to hear from you gamers. Are you vibing with Princess Peach Showtime? Is it a repeat for Endless on End? Or is it just a pause to try something else? But hey, we got a whole lot more cooking up here on Rage Quit Season 4 finale of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh, yeah. It's time to rage about some of these topics we got.
Yeah, man. Woo! We got a lot, baby. What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. But before we begin, I want to let you guys know, anybody that's tuning in live, we want to hear from you. So wherever you're tuning in, whether it is, X, whether it's Twitch, whether it's YouTube, join the chat. We want to hear from you guys. If you comment live throughout the show, you will be featured just like this beautiful lower third just appeared on screen. Let's get it. It seems Capcom decided to play a game of pay to slay instead of play to slay, leaving gamers more frustrated than a mage trying to cast a spell with a broken wand. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look at the images that have been circulating online. And wow, do you see the red text right there, HenricK? What is going on?
Mostly negative.
Mostly negative? What happened?
I'll look on the right side what people are upset about.
Yeah, that is kind of a long list. What is going on? Well, in response to the discovery of almost 24 microtransactions in Dragon's Dogma 2, irritated and disappointed gamers have started review bombing the game on Steam faster than you could say Rift crystals. So gamers were quickly flooding the internet with their frustration, and here's the first comment. Dragon's Dogma? More like drags on my wallet. Jesus effing Christ, Capcom. Refunded at 118 minutes. God, this sucks. Paying for fast travel? Paying for character editing? Paying for revive stones? Bro, it's $100 game. What the F? Crazy.
It is pretty wild when you look at it like this. Yeah.
But then
the
again,
game is a $70 game, and then all that on top of it.
Exactly. But then, we had a bit of people that were clapping back at people that were slamming Dragon's Dogma 2. With this person, Pat, saying, hey, I want everyone to know that every single thing Capcom is uselessly selling as DLC is easily obtainable in-game. Rift crystals, wake stones, character model redos in the CC. Next, we have B Capcom. Released a $70 single-player game. Shoves Denvo. Shoves microtransactions and paid character edit vouchers. Shoves anti-cheat. Reminder, all in a single-player game. Is it any wonder why the game's getting mostly negative on Steam right now? Is that fair? I know some people were like, why would you go after the modders? Like, single player kind of is that experience for PC gamers. How do you feel? I know you probably were fainting over that.
Well, Capcom, it's a different story for them being in Japan. Their culture over there of modding a game is taken a little bit differently than it is in the West. And
like
that's
tipping.
why they don't want to do it.
You don't
they
tip
don't want to
them.
let people do it.
We don't want your
exactly.
tips.
Exactly.
But us Americans, we need more frame rate. Also, the next comment that we got here is, as someone who absolutely loves Dragon's Dogma 1, DD2 seems like a 10 out of 10 sequel so far. It's crazy that this gem is being review bombed. I don't like microtransactions, but these are just early boost of stuff available in-game, like Resident Evil 7. And Devil May Cry 5 had. It's all online drama. Is it now? We'll see. Because further comments say, I think pointing it out is fine, but some of the discourse is blowing it way out of proportion. You can legit go the whole game without even knowing there are any microtransactions. To clarify, when I say you have to go out of your way, in-game, there is no user interface for microtransactions. You have to purposely leave the game and check to see if there is microtransactions, which is why you can go the entire game without knowing microtransactions are in the game. And last, the real reason they wanted to sell fast-traveling microtransactions. And remember, we were clowning this. This is why I started laughing as I'm reading this tweet, because we were kind of like, that's a little strange. It's a bit fishy. Like, I don't know about you. If it's a massive open world game like this, HenricK, I definitely gonna need that fast travel. But are these microtransactions in Dragon's Dogma 2 so pricey that even Arisen would need a loan from a Duke to afford them? I mean, what's going on?
All right, so I'm maybe about like 12 hours into the game so far, and here's my thoughts on this. So you really don't need to have any of the microtransactions. Like some of those commenters said, it's unnecessary to even have them in the first place. The fast travel thing, I get that. Maybe it kind of, especially that looks like, oh, they're trying to sell you as a fast travel option. Like you can pay a couple dollars and hey, now you have fast travel. I think that the game's design is just, it's supposed to be inconvenient in a sense, because they want you to go out and actually travel the roads, because that's where a lot of the dynamic gameplay comes in, where you're having to fight off against a bunch of monsters on the road. Big monsters will come around and try to like wipe out you and your party. If you have fast travel, you don't have any of that experience anymore of traveling from one destination on the map to another and having to fight your way through everything, because it's supposed to be dangerous. There's a reason why people don't go out at night in the game, in the lore. It's because the roads are not safe.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that one, but I know
I'm not defending the microtransactions. I think it's a bad choice, and I didn't think it was a good choice for them either when they did this for Devil May Cry 5.
Well,
but all of a sudden now this is the game where people blow it up.
Well, it's kind of interesting because even Capcom had to respond to the mostly negative reviews that were showing up on Steam. And now they've changed the number of the Art of Metamorphosis items available at all the pawn guilds to 99. So now it's like, okay, sure. Now it's okay to welcome some of these microtransactions if you so choose to even want to go down that road. And like, some of the comments were showcasing, Resident Evil 4, for example, the remake, also made by Capcom, introduced microtransactions when it came to weapon upgrades. And that's kind of some of those frustrations, because people feel like if I'm buying a single-player game, a lot of these kind of features should already be available in the game. It shouldn't be a catch-22 on the day of the launch. That's the biggest problem that Capcom keeps throwing at the gamers. And when is it going to become a point where we revoke this? And clearly...
right, but as a little bit of clarification... some of the microtransactions we're talking about here are like, yeah, it's for single player games and that sucks. It shouldn't be a thing. But the stuff that you're able to buy in a game like Resident Evil 4 for the microtransactions are things you can earn in the game by just playing the game, by being good at the game. For some of these things, even you have to earn them.
Right.
The option for buying it basically subverts you having to earn it, which really at that point, like, why are you playing the game? The whole point of the game is to earn it, Yeah. And when you pull out your wallet instead for a single player game, it doesn't make any sense.
Excellent point, because, you would think that mostly the negative feedback for Dragon's Dogma 2 would actually be going after them for their performance issues. And I know Capcom's aware of it, but then again, I start to wonder, why doesn't this game get as much hate as CD Projekt Red did when they first launched Cyberpunk 2077? Like, I mean, it wasn't as disastrous, but it was pretty freaking close the first 2 days. Like, some people were running at 144 pixel. Some people are probably wondering, what the hell is that? Well, it was worse than your grandpa's TV. Let's put it that way. So if it's that blurry and that pixelated, that is a major, major problem. But it does, on a level, it does feel kind of lame. It's like, really, we're doing microtransactions for character creator? Like, that was something that you allowed all of us to get free-to-play access before we even jumped into the game. And then now you're utilizing this to become, a pay-to-slay opportunity. I don't like it. So pretty wild. And so if there's anything that we should go after them, it's like, please just launch a game perfectly on launch. No glitch issues, no frame rates, no nothing. Why does this always continue to happen? I don't have an answer for that. But sooner or later, the studios will definitely have to address this issue. But
and the issues are mostly in the big town Vermund, but
yeah,
it shouldn't be an issue in the first place. Like, the town isn't that populated for it to be an issue, but for some reason it is.
Yeah, it's so true, man. And just to also re-highlight, recent Capcom releases like Street Fighter 6 and Resident Evil 4 and Exoprimal also had microtransactions at launch. So don't be surprised by this. And just because it's a single-player game doesn't mean that microtransactions don't evolve in single player. It's not just correlated with free-to-play games, right? Like, they're always going to find any kind of way that can pull in the money towards their studio. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic of conversation, because this is such a cool, powerful story. I love it so much. Break it down for the listeners.
Yeah, so Noland Arbau, the first patient with a Neuralink brain implant, is sharing his experience after gaining the ability to control a computer with his mind.
Wow.
A breakthrough that has transformed his life after a diving accident left him paralyzed from the shoulders down. Check it out.
Became intuitive for me to start imagining the cursor moving. Basically, it was like using the force on the cursor, and I could get it to move wherever I wanted. Just stare somewhere in the screen, and it would move where I wanted it to. So, one of the first times y'all gave me complete control over this, I actually stayed up until, geez, I don't know, like 6 a.m. playing Civilization 6. It was worth it, I guess is the best way to put it. It was awesome. I had basically given up on playing that game. Just
it still blows my mind that Yoshi here has been controlled without moving any hand at all. It's just completely easy to see.
Noland Auerbach's experience marks a significant breakthrough in technology, showcasing the transformative potential of Neuralink in restoring independence and functionality to individuals with severe physical disabilities.
Yeah.
Let's see what gamers have to say about this amazing milestone, because, this is a chance for us to get people who can't play games because of a physical disability to actually play games.
I know. I love that so much. I almost get teary-eyed when I think about this. I think it's so freaking cool. First comment we got here is from Elon Musk. He says, long-term, it is possible to shunt the signals from the brain motor cortex past the damaged part of the spine to enable people to walk again and use their arms normally. Yes, this is a video game talk show, but it is very cool and very promising to know that this kind of technology is advancing so much more faster than I could ever believe would be possible in my lifetime. So I think that is so freaking amazing. Next comment we got here is, this is the next big step towards a future in which blindness and paralysis will effectively be cured. Ain't that the truth? Next comment we got here is, imagine having a Neuralink chip and ads start to run inside your brain. Then you start to posting against that, and boom, you get shadow banned. At least some people are having some fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. What if you're like, how people say it's like, do you ever have those thoughts in your mind? No, literally, I have those thoughts in your mind. What the hell is going on? Malfunction. What is it, Nelnet? You were joking with me last week? Stop it. Can't wait for the first ever meme made by thinking using the Neuralink telepathy device. The phrase transmitting thoughts and prayers will have a whole new understanding then. Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, so true. A paraplegic man plays Mario Kart with Neuralink. I'm speechless. From Mars to electric cars, free speech to Neuralink, Elon's companies are impacting humanity for the better. And last, the coolest shit going on in the world, and legit no one talking about it. It definitely did feel like that this week. But then again, this has been kind of a crazy week. We had P. Diddy going on. We had Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter stealing money for him with sports gambling. So I get it. But we need a little bit of good news in our life. And this is just freaking insane. But HenricK, this is a video game talk show after all. So I started looking at this Neuralink technology, and I'm thinking, can this eventually come our way for gamers? Is there perhaps a way where there's a non-invasive method that would not require a brain implant in gamers, but just an opportunity to not use the controller? Is that something that we could potentially see?
Well, I think that there are a lot of possibilities, from, what we're seeing here to, like Elon Musk was saying, maybe being able to have people be able to use their limbs that they lost control of, or maybe even in the future, like a replacement limb. But for a lot of people who don't have those disabilities, the question does bring up, how does this benefit me in the future potentially? And this isn't the first company to try to do something with that control, like to be able to control things with your mind. There are some companies out there that have already done work with some devices that you just like put on your head, like a head strap or headset sort of thing.
Right.
And it reads your brainwaves, and then using the brainwave data that it's allocating, you can then map that to like controller inputs or mouse movement on a screen, for example. And it's all really cool. And I mean, as long as this technology keeps developing, that'll be probably where things will go, where instead of using a controller to play your games, you might just be playing games with your mind.
Yeah,
or
you...
if you combine that with VR, you have a whole like fully immersive VR experience, maybe, where you basically get put into like a sleep mode, or like a
yeah.
You know, you can't interact with the world anymore, but around you instead you're in a virtual world and you're controlling your character while you're in like a sleep mode in real life.
I mean, could you imagine me playing Helldivers 2 and you're trying to set out your stratagem, but instead of just like typing it in like some of these like TikTokers are doing, you know, putting their
like,
their Elgato Stream Deck, you know, you've seen those guys do that. Imagine doing it with your eyes. That is so freaking cool. I know on the Chris Collins show, I've had the chance to speak with a gentleman that created a company called iHarp, which allows for people with this kind of disability to be able to play music with their eyes. And so to finally see that kind of technology start to play out with Neuralink, very, very cool. I think it's very, very exciting. I'm so thankful for the, you know, people and these amazing scientists and researchers that have given this amazing opportunity, because I don't know what's a better relief system than video games. You know, sometimes we want to get away from the BS and we want to not always watch TV. We don't always want to watch movies. We don't always want to read a book. I want to play a game. And, you know, for someone like this individual that had a horrific diving accident, lose the opportunity to play the video games that he once loved, and now has the opportunity to do it again without a mouth stick, like that's insane. So shout out to Elon Musk and his Neuralink squad, and hopefully we get even more advancements in the future.
I'm sure it'll go, you know, that direction where it's just going to get more and more advanced, and it might at one point become a normal thing. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but a normal thing for people to just go and get some sort of implant like this. Sounds kind of scary because of some, you know, other things that could happen as a result of it. Like the commenter said, all of a sudden you get an ad and you can't skip it because it's part of your brain chip. This is literally like conspiracy theory things coming to life for people.
Right. It's like when people get all worried about, you know, like the craze, like, you know, like sooner or later, you know, we're getting away from the paper money and we're all going, you know, with the digital wallet, and, you know, sooner or later they're going to all chip us like a dog. And it's like, well, guess what? You already are chipped like a dog. You ever heard of your cell phone?
Carrying your phone around.
Exactly. Like, come on. I always hate when people say that. It's like, dude, you're already chipped, my man. So there you have it. It's amazing. So freaking cool, and very blessed about that. But hey, you ready to move on to the next topic of conversation, HenricK?
Absolutely, Chris. What's going on with Paramount Plus? It's one of like the streaming services that I think people consider like the black sheep of them.
Yeah, especially compared to all the rest of the streaming services. You're about right on that one, because I know there's been a lot of talk, you know, about, you know, like in the sporting world, about how Peacock has now just picked up the opening game for, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles playing in Brazil. So originally the first joke was like, really? The opening game? The Philly fans can't attend the opening game of the new season? Why Brazil? And then now it's on Peacock, where like I get so overwhelmed having to jump around. And, you know, there's going to be a moment like that in the video game world soon with cloud gaming, but we're going to be focusing more on video game adaptions, because Paramount Plus is really going all in on this matter, taking a Jurassic-sized leap with ARK, the animated series. After all, what's more epic than a 21st century paleontologist teaming up with prehistoric pals in a time-traveling adventure? If you haven't seen the teaser, let's go ahead and take a look.
Can you feel it? The balance of nature has been altered. There is someone out there who may change our fate. And yet I wonder, will she be able to survive?
So when you initially hear, oh, Paramount Plus doing another video game adaptation, you think of the Halo series and you're like, no, why? Why are they doing this? But then you look at the trailer and you're like, oh, it's animated.
Yeah, and it could be, and also because you just referenced that, and that is a good point. You know, Paramount Plus just wrapped up season 2 of Halo TV, and you know we're not here to speak any more shit towards Halo, TV. If you've seen it, you know the problem with it. But you know, it is also important to highlight that Paramount Plus simply licensed the ARC rather than signing on as a co-producer. So the swing isn't as big for them. And, ARC, the animated series, has been announced as far back as 2020, believe it or not, which is pretty wild. But gamers were quick to express their thoughts on the new video game adaptation with the following. So the first comment that we got here is, okay, the fact that the series was going to be in Paramount Plus was unsurprising after that teaser they put out on Twitter. Them revealing that it's out now already? Now, that was all sorts of unexpected. That's got to be the biggest shadow drop Paramount's ever made in all its years of having been out. So, yeah, I mean, no official announcement, no wait period, no grace period. It was just like, bang, this is what you get.
Hey, sometimes that is marketing in itself, though. There's plenty of games that have done that, and they've done well as a result. So
maybe
why
they
not
didn't
with
want
a TV series.
True, and maybe they didn't want to miss out on that golden opportunity where people, finished, season 2 finale, and it was pretty much like it was available right after the season finale. So maybe you transitioned over like myself. Next comment that we got here is, it looks terribly done. 90s cartoons had better animations. Isn't all like anime and cartoons all have a mix of terrible animations? I mean, isn't that kind of the point?
There's a budget, you got to fit into the budget. Some things are going to be animated nicer than other parts because of that, but
so true. Next comment that we got here is, this looks like they took the game, installed a cell shader mod, and recorded it red versus blue style. Hey, I mean, that's kind of a compliment on a level. I mean, right?
In a way, yeah. Red versus blue is dead now, but when it was at its peak, it was
why
very,
did you
very
have to
popular.
say? Why do you have to say it like that? I know it's dead, but why do you have to say? Come on, HenricK. Come on, celebrate something that was so grand.
Too, all right?
I know you are. I know. This came out of nowhere. Yes, we understand. A lot of people were like, dude, this is freaking insane. Next one we got here is, lol, they actually used a Bob. That was pretty funny. In the very first episode, you meet a Bob, and you're like, anybody that's played ARC, you know if you know. And last, I wonder how they're going to introduce beating an animal senseless to tame him. Well, I won't spoil anything, but I will definitely let you guys know when you see the very first episode, you're like, holy crap, I was not expecting that. But HenricK, is Paramount Plus trying to become the level boss of video game adaptions? First with Halo Season 2, and now dropping ARC, the animated series, like a secret power-up?
I don't know if you can call him a level boss, considering how they handled the Halo adaptation.
Okay, so who is representing as the level boss at this time?
All right. I know you're not going to agree with this necessarily, but I think that HBO Max is doing a good job. They got a lot of praise with the Last of Us series. You didn't like it that much, I know that.
I thought it was boring. Yeah, I thought it was boring. I mean, it's a problem when the second episode is the most combative, like the rest
fair.
is,
Total, I understand that. I kind of agree to an extent. It did need more action. But in terms of, keeping true to the game, that adaptation did a very good job of it, whereas the Halo TV series did not.
Excellent point.
A lot of people got mad about that as a result of it. Now, this one being an animated series and the game kind of not having as maybe in-depth of a lore as a series like Halo does, there's a lot more opportunities for them to experiment and not have to follow a game exactly to the T, So I think it's probably going to be praised by people who watch it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you had the same vibe when you were watching ARC, the animated series, but I think my only feedback that I would give to the series moving forward, because I know part 2 is going to be dropping at a later time. It's not been announced when it will be released, but when I was watching it, it almost felt as though it was like a season 2 of the series, if that makes sense to people. Like, I felt like I was
Like they jumped right into things.
Right into it, and it kind of jumps a little fast, and I kind of wanted to know a little bit more. And yes, there's a little bit of like flashback moments during the show, but it doesn't really gravitate towards you, especially during like episode 3 or 4. It starts to like fall on a level, and with such a powerhouse lineup, as you could clearly see from the lower third, you got Michelle Yeoh, Gerald Butler, Russell Crowe, and Vin Diesel. You're thinking like, why did it take so long to drop this video game adaptation? And I think that's what's kind of scaring people. And then the fact that it was like a surprise launch, and why it took so long to find a home for a, any kind of streaming platform was kind of crazy, especially considering how like Netflix has also been somebody that has been wanting to bring more video game adaptations to their platform. So that was kind of wild. But you know what? This is a great gamble for Paramount Plus. I mean, especially think about when HenricK came out in 2015 by Studio Wildcard. It sold north of 1 million units in its first month alone. So people clearly love this Jurassic Park style, combat, very Ghost of Tsushima like, where you almost, it's like one against everybody. You don't know who to trust. So it's
people
really,
are still
really
playing
cool.
it today too. So that says something.
And we did kind of, on a level, we're joking because we want Halo TV to be successful. I think there's a lot of great actors on that show, but it's just the storytelling still isn't quite there yet. But let me show this image for you guys right here. Look what's at number 5. During pretty much the last week of February, Halo. So that's in the top 10 of original content, and people are actually tuning in. I mean, you look at it; it's got 338 million minutes viewed. That's a lot of people tuning in for Halo TV. So there's a lot of people that want to see their favorite video games get adapted for the big screen.
Yeah, there's definitely a demand for it. It's just that each adaptation to either a TV series or a movie has had some sort of flaws, and no one's really like gotten the formula down to a T just yet. Even The Last of Us, when I was just saying it's a good adaptation, it has its flaws, like you were saying. It doesn't have enough action. And I think that you can really say every adaptation is going to have a flaw in one respect or another when comparing it to the game. Maybe some of that's going to be, looking from the perspective of, oh, I really like this game. And then you go watch a movie and they make some changes here and there, or, it's not a game. So you can't really expect it to be the same.
But there's a reason why.
It's the same when you try to adapt a movie or a television series or even a book to a game. There's some differences in translation.
Absolutely, and trust me, Studio Wildcard wants to see this become very successful because, after all, they don't want to see their prized possession show up on the big screen and then completely fall flat, because if it does become successful, it might entice a gamer who didn't pick up HenricK back in 2015 to want to go and join in because they see all the crazy mayhem that happens in the first episode, and they're like, wait, what? What the hell was I missing about this game? Because I know when it first came out, it's not for everybody. I mean, for myself personally, it's a different kind of a style of a survival open world, and you're going to find out when you play. But, some people really, really loved it, and it was an awesome opportunity to do something new. And, we'll see whether Paramount Plus is going to continue down this road of bringing more video games to their platform. And, we'll just have to see what's good. But, wow, this has been very big news in this morning. And it's really gotten a lot of people excited. So why don't you go ahead and break it down, HenricK?
Yeah, well, speaking of games that people really liked, Overwatch was a game that people really liked for a while. And now, NetEase and Marvel Games are teaming up for Marvel Rivals, where even the most iconic heroes will have to learn the ultimate superpower, teamwork.
That's right, baby, teamwork.
And this is like the Avengers, but with more respawns. You can die and come back after you die.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's so you can keep playing. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly, yeah. Let's take a look. We got a video.
That's right.
With the alpha test in May, players will have access to more than a dozen playable superheroes and supervillains. You can finally live out your dreams of riding into battle on Groot's back as Rocket Raccoon, proving once and for all that nothing says superhero like a tree with a rocket launcher.
Dude, hell yeah, right?
Yeah, let's see what gamers have to say about Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, let's get it. So the first comment that we have here is, when the hero shooter is actually a hero shooter.
Yeah, actual superheroes.
Yeah, that's so true. Next one we got here is, Blizzard employees are probably going to cry themselves to sleep tonight. And I didn't quite understand this. We had 7.5 thousand likes on this, and then you before the show referenced something. I was like, now I get it. Please let the people know, because this is kind of a funny little story.
Yeah, this is a NetEase game, which is a company that used to be partnered with Blizzard in China, hosting some of their games for Chinese gamers. Then they had a falling out. The drama is really long. I won't get into it. But essentially, they told Blizzard to F off, and Blizzard now doesn't have some of their games in China as a result of that. So this is their answer to that, to still be trying to, work on something.
Yeah, so true. And the next one we got here is, I love the part where Iron Man said, it's nano time, and nanoed all over the place. Yes, you might have not heard that during the show,
joke.
but yes, yeah, exactly. You might have not heard it from the clip that we played, because obviously you're going to get slammed with copyright with their beautiful music. That's why we had to dub it with our own style of music. But yeah, so there's all really cool, scripted dialogue throughout the gameplay and the teaser that's very fun and keeps it very real. Next one we got here is, my only request is that they put Moon Knight, Deadpool, and Taskmaster as soon as possible. So people are already wanting characters even beyond like 18 playable characters. I know they said 12 at launch for the alpha, and then you see the X-Men and even the Guardians of the Galaxy even being hyped up towards the end of the trailer. Very,
yeah, and I think
cool.
that's going to be one of its strengths for sure, that there's characters that people already know from the comics and the movies that they'll want to see in the game, as opposed to a game like Overwatch. You had to make new characters from scratch, and you introduce them and you have to make people like them in a sense.
That's a good point. That's almost like what we're supposed to see towards the end of the month with X-Deviant, Ubisoft, saying it's going to be the Call of Duty killer. Well, I don't think they got as much leverage as Marvel does. Like, we gravitate towards this since our we were wee lads, coming out of the womb. So, like, they got a little bit more competition compared to Marvel games. Next one we got here is, why would you give Penny Parker like a 0.25 second frame on who it is? Honestly, I didn't even know who Penny Parker was. Don't hate the millennial. Don't hate the millennial.
You never watched Into the Spider-Verse and saw her in that?
I did, but I didn't really realize like that's Penny Parker though.
Ah, okay.
If like, try not to hate me too much, guys. Like, I know it looked cool. She's got a robot, cool. But I need to know more, and now I will with this video game. Props to them for actually putting gameplay in the announcement trailer. Too many games tend to not do it. Yeah,
you know what that? Yeah, I agree with that. Games do that way too often, where they're just like, here's a game that we're working on. It's going to come out this day, but here's a cinematic. We're not going to show you the gameplay yet.
Yeah, it's so true, HenricK. And from Asgard to Tokyo of 2099, will Marvel Rivals unleash a time stream entanglement for Fortnite and Call of Duty, or will it end up feeling more like, let's say, a Hulk smash than a smash hit?
Well, clearly I brought up Overwatch at the start of this segment because it's very obvious that they take a lot of inspiration from Overwatch.
No,
the 6v6, the style of gameplay. It's all the signs are there.
Yeah, big time.
The one thing I'm worried about is, because this is a Marvel game and people get very, very passionate about Marvel IPs in general. I wonder if this game comes out and people hate on it so much to the point that people say, hey, I don't want to play that game that everyone's hating. Why would I do that? I only go play a different game that people hate as well, maybe, but, a lot more people play it. So we'll have to see how long this game sticks around. And also, it's a free-to-play game, so there's definitely going to be microtransactions and like a battle pass and all that sort of thing that we've come to just kind of accept isn't a free-to-play game at this point.
Right.
So we'll have to see how that fares for this game as well, because if that's not done well, then people are not going to stick around either.
Yeah, I almost feel like this game's going to be almost set up like on the level of how Apex Legends is laid out, where you have your characters, but you got to keep playing to earn credit to acquire those characters. And then I feel like there is going to be a battle pass coming. I mean, you don't drop a free-to-play game without microtransactions. And what else do we need? Another fancy outfit on Black Panther? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be all those kind of awesome opportunities, but...
It's actually really interesting that you think maybe they would lock characters behind currency, because that was one of the things that people really slammed Overwatch 2 about, because Overwatch 1, all the characters were all available. You didn't have to pay anything extra.
Right.
Overwatch
we're
2,
talking Marvel here, though. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but like Overwatch 2, when that came around, people were like, "Oh man, I have to buy the battle pass just to get these characters that are new." And people don't like. I think that in a hero shooter, in a sense, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot to not allow people to play every character. But like you said, money talks, and they might want to just do that anyways.
Yeah, it's so true, man. And and I kind of like. Yeah, and yes, the kudos about this trailer is we did get to see some gameplay, and I don't know about you, HenricK, but it kind of felt stiff and clunky. I'm almost viewing this game as like a Maville games, like it's just like it's all right. I mean, but I think the one benefit to this is that I like the adaptation of like team activation, like where you clearly were making the joke about a tree turning into a rocket launcher, which is so freaking badass, or you can unleash gamma energy as Hulk to charge Iron Man's armor. I mean, are we only seeing like tiny peaks? And then I'm wondering too, like, is it on purpose where like you have to have those two characters on a team together to unlock that team, or will Doctor Strange be able to do something special with Hulk smash? Like, I'm just kind of wondering that, because
if they do that, lots of combinations could be possible.
Because think about all the drama with Helldivers 2, where like some people were like, hey, if you don't have this layout and this setup, then I'm gonna boot you from our team and we're not gonna have you. And why do you want to play as Magic? Why do you want to play as Snow? Like, we need Loki in this mix so we can activate our team thing, and you keep making us lose every game. I'm just concerned if that's gonna be a problem with this game. But
it's definitely gonna be a problem. This is just unfortunately the kind of genre of game where, because it has that competitive nature to it, there's gonna be people saying, why are you not picking the meta pick characters? We need the meta pick characters. Don't play an off meta character, because if you do, I'm gonna call you trash.
Yeah, exactly.
But then what you do is you pick an off meta character and you still win. Then you can call them trash.
Then you can talk, and then your dog went and flopped like a fish. Sounds like a skill issue, right, HenricK?
Exactly.
But I thought what was kind of intriguing about this whole free-to-play thing is that they also try to feature a storyline with this game. And they're saying that Dr. Doom and his future counterpart from the year 2099 has forced countless universes to collide. And if you go on the website, they have it in bold. Time stream entanglement, creating new worlds and crises is still unknown. And so I'm wondering if they know something that we don't know when it comes to the MCU, because there's been a lot of rumors about how Dr. Doom was kind of glimpsed, maybe not, or was inside, Wolverine versus Deadpool 3 movie. I don't know if you've seen that debate where people are like, that's clearly not Dr. Doom. Well, maybe it's not him in his real form, right? I mean, this right here, this description says his future counterpart from the year 2099. What if he's incognito? What if he's in disguise? And, they had the actor that got in a lot of trouble too, the gentleman John Boyega, that was recently in the Loki series and, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And there's been rumors that they might exile him out. He was supposed to be the next Thanos. And so I'm just wondering if this video game is kind of edging people towards something that's potentially coming for the MCU. We won't know unless more information comes. But
it is all conspiracy theory stuff. But it could be a good way to market the movies and the video game, because you could be like, hey, that game you like playing, hey, there's a movie about that character, or vice versa. Hey, that movie that you like, hey, there's a game you can play that character.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to the conversation we were just having with Paramount Plus, right? They're not like ARC doesn't want to just drop a series about their game for no reason. They want it to shine, so then it brings new gamers to want to check out their video game. And I think potentially the same might apply with Marvel games. So very, very cool. Very, very exciting. I know I'll definitely be signing up for this closed alpha beta testing.
Oh, yeah.
So please
we'll be
give me
an
the
eye
opportunity,
on this.
Marvel. Please, 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 please choose me.
This is a game on our radar for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So expect us, if we get lucky, maybe it might be a positive repeat if we get an opportunity to jump on it early, but we won't know unless you choose us. So if you're watching, let us know, Marvel Games. But, man, Season 4 finale has been so freaking badass, and we can't thank you, the gamers, for joining us live, prime time, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and scan the QR code, like, share, and subscribe. I always got a lot of amazing things cooking up, along with HenricK the Rack.
Yes, go subscribe there, and you'll see all the content that I'm cooking up. Memes, videos, clips from this, you name it, you'll see it there.
That's right. And I know you're going to be having a lot of fun streaming later tonight. What are we doing?
Yeah, we're going to go play some more Dragon's Dogma 2. Going to see if we can take down some big monsters, get some quests done. Yeah, the works.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. And just want to let you guys know we're going to be off for a week, and then we'll be back for Season 5, stronger than ever. We're very, very excited for the future of what's to come. So what I would encourage you guys to do is just keep playing games. Don't stop. Keep leveling up, baby.
In fact, when you get off of here, go play a game.
You know what? That's what I'm about to be doing. And I'm going to be watching live on Twitch with HenricK the Rack. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. But, guys, thank you so much again, and we will see you in the new season.